The Terrible Warriors are supported by Patreon supporters at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Today on the Terrible Warriors, return to the City of Calypso, the Sunrise City. City of glass and mirrors, drugs and pride. A city where everyone's got a dream to escape to the other side. And in the center of that dream, a murder. Famed author found dead in the office of his editor. And in the final hour, our investigators are closing in. They know who killed our victim. They know how our victim died. But it doesn't make any sense until they learn why. But as they get closer to the truth, will they regret ever finding out? The final chapter in our investigation in Noirlandia. And our investigators, who just don't know how to walk away, they are your Terrible Warriors. Welcome back to the Terrible Warriors. I am not your game master, Justin Ecock, here on this game of Noirlandia. I'm not your game master because there is no game master in Noirlandia. We are entering into our fourth, final episode of this campaign. We have begun our investigation in the City of Calypso, the City of Sunrise. That the sun hasn't risen in this city for years. And it is a city of glass and mirrors, of drugs and pride. It is a city corrupted by its own vanity. And in the center of this city was famed author Stephen Prince, found dead in the office of his editors, apparently stabbed so many times. Along the course of our investigation, we have found some answers. This is not a complete mystery anymore. The only thing we do not know is why. But we know he was stabbed so many times. Which is an answer to the motive, probably.
If this was a song, that would be the refrain.
And we know that it was Chris Chapman, mysterious industrial drug maker from the Shades, in a possible affair with Liz Moran, the government agent from the Crystal Maze. He's the one who did all the stabbing. But we don't know why he did all the stabbing. We don't know if he was even doing the stabbing maybe on behalf of someone else. Maybe someone hired him. Maybe someone provoked him. Maybe he just wanted to stab someone so many times. Along the way, we have made many connections and leads. We have been keeping track of this on a board. I took a picture of it and posted it on our Instagram account between these two episodes if you want to go and check that out. It's also going to be on our show notes. But we have, in our city, 4 districts. The downtown core, called the Core. The Skid Row area, called the Shattered, or the Shatters, where all the glass and mirrors of the core life are kind of recreated in broken form. And the Crystal Maze, where the rich lived advertisement-free. It's like where you pay for the premium upgrade and you get rid of all the pop-ups. That's what happens at the Crystal Maze. And if you want to just disconnect from Facebook and not be a part of the whole rigmarole, that's where you go into the Shades, powered by gaslight. They don't get into the but as we've learned, they also provide much of the amenities that the core lives off of, and they farm those materials and send them into them, whether it be drugs or otherwise. Drugs, of course, in Calypso is a very different thing as it is here. It's not even just recreational. It's just a fact of life. It's how you wake up in the morning. It's how you go to sleep at night. It's how you feel happy. It's how you feel sad. Everything is regulated and controlled, and usually regulated and controlled by you, by how you want to feel right now. And you want to eat that meal and you don't like that meal, take a pill. Now you like that meal. And it's a carefree life. Or is it? We've learned along the way that Stephen Prince was working with something at Liz Moran in a secret workshop in her house, that in this workshop was a map of a molecule connected to a potent chemical that's connected to Chris Chapman. Secretary at the editor's office saw something. There's an heirloom of potential lover from the Shatters. What is happening? What was Stephen involved in? We're going to find out the final answer of why this murder took place.
Or we're going to horribly fail everything.
Or we're all going to die and the city will fall apart.
You get stabbed so many times.
I'm feeling pretty lucky, though. So far. We just wrapped up a scene with Bree's character, Fortune. And so we have 3 more scenes to go through before she can have another one, and that's going to be between Shane's character, the old man from the Shades, or other Shane's character from Edmonton, his character from the Core, the private investigator, Marcus, or my character, also from the Core, the editor of the company that Stephen Prince was working for, Marty Silver. Shane, either of you want to have a scene?
I think you're in a very interesting track right now.
Yeah, last we saw Marty Silver, he was in the Shades, tracked down by a professionally hired assassin, and had his life put on the line, but god damn it, if it wasn't for those police-issued downers who he was able to drug that assassin, knock her down, and get some answers, including finding out that not only was Chris Chapman, our prime suspect and suspected killer, connected to Liz Moran, perhaps as lovers. They're lovers. But also this professionally hired assassin to take me out of the investigation had also recently visited the Sunnyside Diner in the Crystal Maze district. And that's where we find Marty.
He's not having a good week.
He's not having a good week. He's clearly a corporate core worker. He doesn't live in the Crystal Maze. He can't afford to live in the Crystal Maze. He doesn't look like he belongs in the Crystal Maze. People in the Crystal Maze don't wear sharp suits. They wear like flowy robes.
They're the high elves.
They're all like, yeah, exactly.
He's just constantly out of his element.
And so,
Yeah, he's just like everywhere, just like crying softly to
this is
himself.
a bit a very stressful week. My heart and mind continue to plummet. But I feel guilty. I feel like I pushed Stephen into something that he wasn't, like a life he shouldn't have been in, and I want to clear my conscience by solving this investigation. And here I am in the diner. And is there anything that you think I would find when I walk into the Sunnyside Diner? I ask my supporters, because when I run, I don't get to have a say. I have this matchbook, and I have this location. I don't know what I'm going to find when I get here, but I'm hoping it's going to lead to more answers. I'm hoping it's going to maybe lead to a new contact. Is there someone there that might know more about what Stephen Prince was like here in the maze, or how Liz Moran even gets into this?
I think there's a sultry waitress behind the counter.
We know the maze is a mystery, that people who go into the maze very rarely leave, and very little news from within. The maze is more myth than reality to the other people of Calypso. So you just pulled a card.
I did. I pulled a 4, which on the dramatic hits means something has been stolen.
Okay.
Okay, so you walk into the diner, and all of a sudden everyone's just like, are they all amiss that something's stolen? Do you see something get stolen?
Well, I don't know.
You
Something
walk-
has been
you
stolen.
You walk into the diner,
Okay, Bree.
and there's hardly anyone in there at this time of day. It's a little early for lunch. There's hardly anybody in there, but there is. Shane gave us a waitress. There's a waitress, bartender. She's doing everything right now because it's early,
really hot.
and she's rifling through. Shane's trying to bring back the seduction card really hard. She's rifling through things without trying to look like she's looking for anything.
But
But
she can't find it.
Yeah, she can't find something, but she's trying really hard to look. I mean, she is in the Crystal Palace. You don't lower yourself. Like, I mean, she doesn't live there, but she works there, which is pretty grand. So, she's trying to, she's looking under placemats and, pulling out chairs and trying to look like she's just tidying up, but she's clearly looking for something.
Okay. And on your name tag on your dress is the name Anka. Ankuh. So, thank you for supporting us on Patreon. So Anka is you're working here at this diner. You're stressed out, and I don't really care about your problems because I want to solve a murder. But maybe if I help you out, I can learn a little bit more about it. But I want to know also how this is going to actually forward the investigation, or if I should just maybe leave and get out of your hair. I shouldn't be here.
Trust me, I know.
So how do we want to play this part out here? I've got
I think
always with dignity? I'm just gonna sit there and read the menu, I guess, and
Well,
just let
I-
you sweat.
I do think you do see like behind the counter is oddly out of place the entire collection of Stephen Prince's like book collection, like all across the wall. It is quite obvious that
Most of them,
special edition.
They look like the covers have been autographed.
yeah,
So
it's like they're
he's-
all in frames. All
he
across the
came
wall.
here often.
Oh, this was like probably his favorite place.
This
He
is
probably
like-
traded autographs for.
Probably
Sunny
wrote
Side
some
Up
of his
Eggs.
books here. So I point out the books, and I go, Stephen Prince fan.
Oh yeah, he came here all the time. It was one of his favorite places to just sit and have a coffee or have, sometimes he had business meetings here. It was a very, very integral part of his life. Were you a fan?
Well, it's interesting you say business meetings, and I show her my card from Silver Press, and tell me more about these business meetings. I was his editor.
Oh, well, I mean, I expect that if he had to actually go to an editor, he probably would have gone somewhere that was not a coffee shop.
Now I feel like Stephen was doing something on the side. He wasn't working with me.
Sir, are you meaning to say any of this out loud? Like, are
This
you-
is me talking, doing my monologue, my little noir thing to the audience. Other two supporters. What else is there anything happening in the scene here to maybe push this along? I don't know why I'm here. I have a matchbook and I have a diner and I have Liz Moran and I have
So
business
you
meetings.
you haven't asked for one, but I've drawn a card
Okay.
and I've brought you a coffee,
Yes.
and there was something in the drink.
No.
Was it coffee?
No.
That is what my card says. There was something in the drink.
Like coffee.
And so, okay, so the drink knocks me out.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because, of course, there's not even a point to roll.
Man,
I'm
my
not-
characters are just on that today.
So,
You wake up.
do you want to roll here where I wake up?
I say you wake up in a laboratory. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, we could. I mean, we could do a laboratory, or we could do the on the road is where I did. Is on the road back towards downtown. Back
Oh,
towards
like
the
we
core.
just put you on
I got
the train.
drugged, and it says I got drugged, and I wake up heading back downtown. Well, what the hell? That sounds boring.
It does.
So you want to
not
wake
bad.
me up in a laboratory?
I want to wake up in the secret writing room where we laugh less off.
Oh,
That's not that far away.
okay.
It's not.
So I'm there, and Anka's there, and Liz
Anka's there.
Moran is there.
Liz is there as well.
Oh, this is perfect.
And Chris Chairman is there.
Chris Chapman.
Chris Chapman.
What? He's the killer. We know he's the killer.
He's not been caught.
We know he's the killer, but do the police know he's the killer?
I know he's the killer.
Well,
this is
congrats.
great.
Now you're with
I'm
him.
kind of peeing myself. Am I bound to anything?
No, you're not bound. You're just still a little bit woozy.
I
You
just-
were,
I
you
just
were
wake
still
up.
you were still too drugged to move,
Yeah.
but you are conscious.
And you see the waitress, you see Liz, and you see Chris all talking in a hushed voice about what to do with this current situation.
Okay, I got to get out of this and learn some information. Is this body or mind that I'm rolling against?
I'm probably gonna say,
Body.
I'd say mind is trying to like come to.
Well, I mean, let's say he's awake, but he's really sluggish.
Okay, so body.
So is it mind? Is this a mind roll? Is that what you
Well,
said?
actually, let's do a mind roll to see if you can actually speak up before like
Okay.
the party at hand decides to do something.
You guys get an extra black die then.
We made good life choices.
So
Pass you black die.
I get a white die,
Oh.
but I don't get an extra white die.
So do we get?
And you get a black die for my condition. So someone's gonna roll an extra.
Someone-
So, hold on. There's only one black die to one black die plus a second black die for my poor condition.
So it's two black
Who-
dice.
So it's two
who
black
am I,
die.
who am I rolling against? Am I rolling against Liz or am I rolling against? There's only two
I
black
don't-
die on the table. So each of you, Bree
You go.
and Shane, roll one die.
here's one die.
Not Edmonton.
Sorry,
Shane,
oh, okay.
'cause
1, 2, 3.
you've only got the two die.
It's a 3.
5 and a 3.
I rolled a 6. I have my 1-6, and if I win by 2,
Yeah, it auto
I
passes.
narrate the
so
success. But if I lose by 2, okay, so it's high to high. So
you
I'm
will
not-
be
I'm only gonna-
offered a bargain.
I'm offered a bargain if I succeed or refuse and fail. So I'm kind of coming to, and who's offering me the bargain? What's the bargain? What is happening? This feels like this has gone
fun.
Dirk Diggler. Dirk Gently. It's gone Dirk Gently.
Gently. So I mean, I assume it would be a fellow people who are not the protagonist. I assume it would be it would probably be Chapman,
Probably,
who is
Liz
going to
is
offer the.
Maybe Chapman.
Well, he's never met any of them before. Is
I
the
know, but
thing. The
Liz
only
is probably,
person he
like, the
has any
mastermind.
idea behind this.
Dun, dun.
So
This is interesting because the
Shane,
four of us aren't
any
actually
comments?
working together on this investigation at all. We've all been doing
Yeah.
things independently.
yeah, we've fucking never met each other. So, so you're gonna come to, and you know they can tell you're awake, but you can't talk yet. Like you're a little bit of a blubbering fool at this point, and they kind of they look over at you. You know, they look over at you and they confer again for another couple of seconds. And then finally, Liz,
What's happening?
who clearly belongs in the Crystal Palace. This beautiful woman who clearly belongs here. This is her house, even though you don't know it. And kind of glides over to you. Because they all walk like fucking high elves, obviously. She glides over to you and she says, "Look, I know why you're here. If you forget..."
To keep in mind, just before you offer this bargain,
Yes.
in the investigation roles, the bargain can be offered as a narrative bargain.
Right.
But in this
Otherwise, this is an
challenge
actual
roll,
like thing.
The only bargain that can be offered is one that will damage one of my stats when I accept.
Okay. So she says, "I know why you're here." And you know this is going to affect...
We don't choose what stat he does.
No, you do.
He does?
We do?
No,
you
we
do.
do.
You choose which stat you're bargaining with. If you want to be like, you got to make a public statement from your company, and it's going to smash your reputation, but you're going to publicly exonerate. You're going to say it was a suicide or something, right? Like, you could
Or
say that, and I
ask-
could
you
lose my
ask,
integrity.
Liz could ask for all the rights to his books, like all the royalties.
Yeah, but that's
She would've
how
gotten
would
that
that
anyway.
affect my stat? That would be something around.
Your
the,
reputation would go down because your company would lose the money from it.
yes, I guess. But I mean, it was already in the will.
Yeah, she's probably going to get them
Nothing
anyway
much I
because of
can
the
do
will.
about that.
True.
Basically,
Or you don't have to be like the character offering. you the
yeah,
bargain.
no.
It
What
can
I
be
what I'm
Bree
saying
offering
is,
Justin
yeah,
the
what
bargain,
I'm
going
saying
like,
is,
if
so
you're gonna
she
get out of
knows-
this, you're gonna have to like break your arm.
yeah, she knows why you're there. And
Am I gonna be tied up and captured by this killer, or are they gonna let me go? Why are they captured me?
I think they're
What is
gonna. I think they
happening?
let you go.
This got really serious.
Escalated in some way.
what I would like to do, guys,
Episode
and
4.
let
That
me,
escalated quickly.
and let me know what you guys think. Shane's squared. What I think we're gonna go for is something that's really gonna hit either. I think the most likely things he's gonna have to roll on are mind and heart.
I already feel
in,
guilty, and
in
I
this
already
situation.
feel conflicted.
Yeah, and he's already down on those. So the game would get a real boon if he went down further on those.
I think we actually, you know what we could do? Can the group decide to just like give him a really strong sedative to fuck with his memory, and then just like let him back out?
Yeah, then that could.
Go after your mind.
The bargain here is if I accept this, I can make my investigation roll with the white die, but my mind is going to drop to unhinged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
But if I, like, they put the pill in my mouth and I put it under my tongue and I spit it out when they're not looking, I'll take the black die, but I'll keep my mind up. And my investigation roll that'll happen, my mind won't be as affected, but it also won't be as successful.
Yeah, so I think the idea is
So
like,
you-
like, they're gonna offer you a pill.
yeah, she
and if
says,
you
"I know
take-
why
if you-
you're here."
And if you take the pill, and like you can follow through and investigate whatever, but if you don't take the pill,
Well, they're not offering
won't
to
be
me
as
to
open.
investigate or anything.
No, like they've literally shoved a pill in your mouth. Are you gonna swallow it?
We got to get rid of him and put him on the road back to the core, and
Yeah, like-
and just send him away. But I'm like silently taking in stuff from this room.
yeah, it makes
So
sense.
what's happened is she comes over. She says she knows why you're here. She shoves a pill in your mouth. If you swallow it, you're going to take a hit to your mind. If you wait until she turns away and just kind of spit it out, you're just going to take the black die.
I'll take. Well, the thing is, I'm going to take a black die anyways, aren't I? Because
Yeah, this is kind of a lose-lose. You're tied to a chair.
if I drop down to unhinged, I'm going to end up having 2 black die on my investigation roll, versus just the 1 additional black die from the failed.
No, your mind doesn't come into effect for investigation roll. It's only for challenges.
It depends on the style of the
It
investigation.
depends on what the investigation
Oh.
is. That's why I'm doing this.
And since I'm going to be probably looking around the room immediately after this, I'm spitting out. I'm going to reject this bargain. I'm going to spit out the.
Yeah,
the
you
pill.
managed to just kind of go
I'm going
like,
to keep my stat up, but I don't get to keep the white die for the investigation. I end up only
Okay.
rolling with 2 white dies, but because we have 2 answers on the board, I don't need the extra white die. So you're going to get a black die in this investigation. So as I'm spitting this out and I'm waiting for you guys to like dream it, I'm trying to like pretend to be asleep or something or drugged out.
You're just drooling all over yourself happily.
I'm used to giving a glassy stare. And I'm going to get 2 white die. I'm also going to have 2 white dies for you to roll that are attached to the answers we have found.
Mm-hmm.
And each of you gets a black die to roll. You got a black die, and you got a black die. And
I have
another black die added in for my poor condition. So,
Okay,
so
so I've
Bree
got-
can roll 2 black dies, 2 white dies, and I'll roll 2 white dies.
ready.
Fuck me. Those were not weighted.
Okay, so
Oh
here
here
are your
Those are my bargains.
those are your bargain dice, and then here are all
2, 4, 2, and 2. Now we only take the highest 3, so
Yep.
that 2 gets
so that
removed.
gets one,
So
two,
we have a 4 and a 2 and a 2. Now, as we know, if I miss on the 2, I'm on the board as a lead.
Frankly, I'm shocked you're not there already.
And
this long,
if I
damn.
miss on the 4, I damage conditions anyways. I could live with dignity, or I could, I don't know, poop myself.
I mean,
nothing really
I was gonna say
dignifying
you're
about
drooling.
this.
You're drooling all over yourself. You're tied to a chair. I don't know
So,
if you've got much
because
dignity
the
left.
thing is, that's only to break ties. And these bargain dice, that will help stop the 4. I think I'm gonna end up on this board anyways. I don't think there's a way for me to miss. Like, I don't. I'm gonna have to. Okay, what is the bargain for this 6? Who rolled the 6? You rolled the 6.
I did. I think it's probably attached to the waitress because she's the only one there who's not.
So what's the bargain then? That
The story
if I-
bargain?
For what? How do I get this 6 die? Because I need the 6 die to beat the 4. And then I need to like be very
If-
undignified
if
and break my
you-
principle again, and then I still get my name on the board.
Okay, to get that die, she's as afraid of these people as you are. She just wants out.
She wants
You
out.
if you escape from here, you take her with you.
Okay, I can do that. So I made it
In
on
your
a
current
6,
in your current state, she
which
doesn't
gives
believe
me
you can do that at
an
all.
answer or a connected lead. I break my tie with a dignity by like I pretend to be drugged out, which means I drool, I release my bladder.
You've now peed yourself twice over the course
So
of this campaign.
this is not good, but this is it. My principles are shattered. My image is ruined.
For those of you keeping track at home.
However, I still miss on the 2, so I'm still gonna pin myself onto the board. On my way out, they leave the room. They think I'm drugged out. The
Yeah,
waitress
you're
whispers in my ear. I then like get up because I'm actually not drugged at all, and I take her out and I get her onto like a fucking whatever cars or things we use to get around. And
Can we do this at this point? Can I
I
draw
don't
a
think
card
so,
at this
man.
point?
what for? For leads? The investigation's over. This is
Okay, the
this is how we
investigation's
resolve
over. I
the
can't
success.
fuck your shit anymore?
You want me to
Okay.
get her out of there? I'm taking her back to my apartment in the core.
Okay.
So it's like I got a roommate.
Surprise.
Worst thing ever.
Yeah, but I got a roommate who might be a suspect in a murder, or an accomplice, or drugged me in the diner. Why am I helping this woman? So along the way, she answers some of my questions, and I tying on a 2, I get to heal a condition. which actually absolves me of my guilt. My heart goes back up to quiet because I'm like, it wasn't me, is what I've learned. That it wasn't my fault. The hit on the 6 is there enough there for an answer on the board? Or do we have to make more connections? There isn't. We've got Chapman. Liz hasn't been used for anything. So if I can connect Liz to the heirloom or Chapman to the heirloom.
If you can connect something to the workshop, it's already connected to our murder victim. And that will give you 3.
Liz hasn't been used for anything yet, has
No,
she?
Liz has not been used.
Liz hasn't been used.
Yeah, so that's what I want to
Chris
do.
Chapman has not been used.
Chapman-
The sunny side hasn't been used.
Chapman is being tied to the heirloom. Because that's where I think this is going.
Okay.
And so that's my connection. I don't have enough to make...
You have to cut that.
oh, wait, no. On a 6, it's not... I don't make a connection. I make a connected lead.
Yeah, you can
Something
just
new
add a new
is
lead
added.
and come in.
Oh, okay. So she reveals to me something... What does she reveal to me on the way back that becomes a new connected lead? It doesn't have to be random. It can be whatever I want it to be.
No, it could be whatever you want.
The lead...
Welcome back to being in control.
a person, a place, or a thing. I also have. I could make her the lead, and how she connects into this drama. How does she work for it? Maybe she works for Chapman. She's been working for him, covering up his crimes. Maybe she worked for Stephen Prince. I mean, he came to the diner and had all those books autographed. Maybe she works for Liz Moran, who was working with Stephen Prince, and she's covering up her implication in all of this. So I'm going to put Anka up on the board from the Crystal Maze, from the Sunnyside Bar, and I'm going to connect her to Liz Moran. And I'm also going to put myself up on the board.
I'm going to do a
On the
card
floor.
already.
Thank you. And I'm going to get up and do that to the board, and someone else is going to take over the scene and find out what happens, who wants to go next. It's going to be one of the Shanes.
All right, one of the Shanes. Which one of you wants to go? Are we going to rock, paper, scissors it?
No, I think the detective should just do some detective work.
Okay.
Do your job.
I'm an old man.
He's just an old man
Remember-
drug
Well-
pusher.
This is your friend, and maybe your dad. I'm talking to the other Shane. The old man.
Yeah, that's kind of the angle that I was going with on this because I got the name Chris Chapman, an industrialist from the Shades. Apparently, there's a potent chemical involved somehow. So
I'm starting to think less and less that it had anything to do with the chemicals. I think it
The
started that way.
the chemicals were great.
Then it
all
got into the
along.
sex that no one talks about in this town. That's what you get for not talking about sex with anyone. You get passion stab murders
So many times.
so many times.
So many.
It was like, that's just like in the newspaper. It's like a lot of stabbing. Headline. More in the evening.
Potentially excessive stabbing.
When people can't have sex, they stab more people. Okay, this has been brought to you by Terrible Warriors.
Penetration is penetration.
The more you know. All right, which one of you is doing a scene, Mr. Detective Shane?
yeah.
Okay. Where are you?
Okay.
Where would you like to be? When would you like to be there?
Well, I'm gonna see what I can do to find Chris Chapman by going to somebody who would probably know where he is, considering they have very similar backgrounds. I'm gonna talk to the old man.
Oh, I'm gonna go talk to the old man.
Where are you talking to me?
Where are you?
1 second.
Now we're trying to find
where
scissors.
do you want to meet the old man?
Where do you want to meet the old man?
Want to meet him at a park?
Come on,
Yeah,
old man. Put
Park
your,
in the
we'll do,
Shatters?
come on, old man. Put your shoes
Or
on. We're
meeting in
going
the
to the park.
shade?
We'll go with neutral ground. We'll meet in the Shatters.
Woo.
Okay.
It's nice over here. We shattered glass parks. That's all we got. It's just empty lots of shattered glass. It's good times.
Glued to the wall.
Sometimes.
lovely.
Sometimes it's just a pile. You take what you can get.
Like the glass beaches.
Yeah. All right. Take her away.
Okay. So the old man is literally chilling in a park full of broken glass, feeding. Is there pigeons here? Can I be feeding pigeons?
They're fake pigeons. They're also made of glass, and you are feeding them broken glass. Like you're just throwing glass at other glass. Okay.
I'm throwing
They're
broken
glass
glass.
blowing pigeons. They're like little like art projects that the Shatters make.
Okay, so I'm sitting in a park throwing little glass beads at glass pigeons, just waiting for time to pass because I'm an old man.
I just go in and I just
That's ridiculous. It's too much glass. Here.
I walk
Look at all
up.
this glass
That's all
in
we've
the
got.
cup. Why?
Leave it alone.
Why do we have so much glass?
Is there a lot of sand around? Like, where are you making all this glass
like
from?
corn syrup in the
maybe the
States.
sun
We just
died
made-
because it went really hot and it melted all the sand in the world to glass?
And hence why glass is like our main resource.
I don't
Just-
even
That's all we
know.
got.
Broken glass everywhere. This is what hell looks like to John McClane.
Okay, so you you're meeting in a park in the Shatters? I was over at the
Yes.
board.
Yes,
so-
in the shadows.
And-
Meeting me in the shadows.
and you're meeting him at the park. I think like the Shatters isn't made of glass. It's not even made of mirrors. It's made of what everyone grabs.
Yeah.
And but like this park is more like a landfill to anyone else who's not from the Shatters. It's just full of so many like stolen things that are then like I don't want this, and they throw it out because they found something shinier. It's all the shiny things that are not as shiny as the shiny things they have now.
So it's kind of shiny.
And old clothes.
Old
and
clothes,
just,
yeah,
you know,
old fashioned.
Old discarded pigeons.
old discarded art projects. A little bit of everything.
And heirlooms of those little the stars hanging on string going across the park of all the people who left the Shattered. Reminder that you can leave this life.
Yeah. Okay, so I approached the old man in the park. Well, I never thought I'd have to see you again.
Hello there.
Look, we're just going to keep this simple. I have questions, you're going to give me answers, and then we're going to go our separate ways.
So I look at my watch, and then something amazing happens in the background.
So while this is happening, I draw a card summoned by a powerful player. So actually, we bring in. I know you also played him earlier, but this meeting is going to be interrupted by a powerful player in the scene, which is
Mark Brooks.
Mark Brooks, the mastermind of the
Oh
Shades.
God!
Great.
So one old man walks up to the other old man, and old man number 2, Mr. Mark Brooks, says, "Fool, you acted my trap." No, I'm sorry.
I can
You do Mark
play
Brooks.
Yeah, why don't you
Probably
take
better
Mark Brooks?
So I come in and sort of, for someone who wants to get away from the Shades, you all do a very terrible job of associating with only other people from the Shades.
It's ironic, isn't it?
He walks up and he's got like a bomber jacket on or something, and keeping it's cold away from all those gas lamps.
Oh,
Everything would seem cool.
Well,
Yeah. It's very warm in the Shades. It's very
Yeah.
cozy in there.
what can I say? I took up a profession that has me dealing with a lot of criminal bastards, and they just happen to come from the Shades.
I look really offended by this.
Well, you got yourself caught up into something bigger than your usual fare, that's for sure.
No shit. Look, I'm looking for Chris Chapman.
And I'm looking for you to end this investigation now before more people get hurt. You're causing too much trouble in the Shades. People are showing up who shouldn't be there. God, Steven's own editor almost got knocked out in an alley fight with one of our enforcers.
It's not good for business.
We don't need people from the other side of the tracks coming down and changing the order of things.
Look, what Marty does with his own damn time is not my concern, all right? The guy's on edge. People think he did it. Best thing I can do for him is prove that he didn't.
I think he did it. I think half the city thinks he did it. Of course he did it. The body was found in his own goddamn office.
And I've got an eyewitness who says somebody else did it.
Yeah. Someone who wants to pin it on the Shades. That's bad for business, too. We can't
That makes
have it
him
getting out that a prime suspect is someone who is also a pillar in the industry that keeps all these pretty lights on. You got to stop this. You got to walk away. You too, old man.
I slowly walk away with my limp.
Old man is out. He's
Old man, you
Old man
raised
out.
this boy. You raised Prince.
Yes, that will.
He died because you couldn't be there to stop this from happening.
He died because I didn't know who he got in with.
He got in with one of your own. He got in with Chris Chapman. Another kid from the same generation as the
Push the
fucking
same
PI
things.
and the author. They're killing each other. What kind of mentor are you?
not a good one.
Hey.
I know this is your scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't want Shane just like ejecting from the game.
Yeah.
But Mark Brooks is having none of this. He is calling you out, old man, and he's definitely calling you out. Stop this. Stop this damage. Stop this destruction. Just let it lie. Let Marty take the blame.
Wait, no.
So
Pin it on someone
okay.
from the Shatters.
so
Just don't put it on us.
so I drew a card. A concealed weapon is revealed, and it's revealed by someone literally murdering the old man.
Well, you can't. I'm gonna put
We're
a veto on
retconning
that.
this?
We can't wipe out another character in someone
Shayna
else's
would
scene.
Shayna would like you to know you literally just asked me to murder you.
No, I said my cane is like.
If you
Oh,
want,
it's
if
a
you
gun.
want to reveal, because we're all supporters in this scene together, we all
Yes.
work together. Mark Brooks reveals the concealed weapon,
There we go.
There you go. Concealed weapon.
and it's one of those glass blowing torches that's been like modified
To just
to just like
blow fire.
blow burning fire, molten glass. It's not a nice way to go.
Do you see something badass as you pull it out?
No, he just he's wearing the bomber jacket. He just opens it. It's just in it. He's just like, stop this now, or I'm going to stop you. You will not bring down the shades. Let it lie in the dark.
Oh, that was a good line.
well, I think this kind of sounds like a challenge roll.
Well, it depends how he reacts.
So, do you want to try and disarm me? Do you want to talk me down, or do you want to just take the black die? You can just take it. You just give up.
I tell you to listen to him. Listen to Mark Brooks. He's really smart.
Because the old man might have information for you about the motive, because you raised these kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Mark Brooks might know but he doesn't want anyone to know, so he's not going to tell anyone. So
So like,
among my supporters,
old
I would
man-
argue
old-
this is a body roll.
yeah,
like,
old
you're
man
gonna-
is shaken up. So if you
You
fix
want
the
to you got to
situation-
fight shade with shade. If you want to, this is he's upped the ante here, and he's not going to go down. You know enough from this life that you would never reveal
Yeah.
that. Where everyone in the core will just take drugs and let their troubles go away. In the shade, you sort it out, and you sort it out usually in a fight. Passion. Also, he's got a gun.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Flamethrower.
flamethrower.
He's got a
He's got a fire
flame-throwing,
flamethrower.
a glass bullet gun.
Oh man.
Punch him in the face.
What's your body stat even at? It's just a regular dice, right?
Able. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's no other conditions to it. It would be a white against black. There's nothing else to throw in there. There's no
We've been
other
doing pretty well
modifiers.
on those. I think you have a pretty good chance.
All right. I'm gonna try to disarm him.
And I'm going to stop you. Boom! Oh, I rolled a 2.
He rolled
I rolled a 2! Oh, it's a tie!
Oh man.
So Mark Brooks is going to offer you a bargain. And no, Mark Brooks, I mean Justin's going to offer you a bargain. You can retreat and not get your answers from the old man. Or Mark Brooks can kick the crap out of you, and you can take a hit on your body. And when he thinks you've got a message, he's going to leave. He's going to tell you to keep your head out of the light, and everyone just stay in the dark. And he's gonna leave, and then while the old man maybe tends to your wounds, you get some answers. But that's what it'll take, is just letting Mark just beat the shit out of you. Beat the light out of
He
you.
can break his principle in this one, couldn't he?
You can break your principles in a tie during an investigation roll.
Okay.
Right now, you just gotta
Bargain.
let me kick you for a while. It's not a bad bargain.
No,
And you haven't really taken any hits.
That's a pretty solid bargain, actually.
Yeah, I'll take my lumps.
Mark Brooks kicks the crap out of you.
Yeah.
You just kind of look and you
Does he-
kind of like.
Do you use a flamethrower or you just like kick him?
He doesn't. He just showed it, but you tried to fight him off, and he just beat the shit out of you. It's just
He didn't
fists.
even need to use
Hands
the flamethrower
and
at that point.
boots, right? Like, just know your place. And when he thinks
Look,
you've
he
known
just-
enough,
he
lower
just
your stat
punched him.
down from able to hurt. You got a bloody nose, and he says, "Keep your head in the dark, stay out of the light. Let the shade be the shade. Stop trying to change the order of things." And he walks away and leaves you in a pile of your own blood.
I look
And-
on very, very
And you're like,
just like not happy with it.
and now you can roll. So actually, mark the stat change so we don't forget.
Right.
And you can roll your investigation roll to find out what the old man knows about your suspect, Chris Chapman. So I know it hasn't come up, but it just seems narratively like
I should know him.
You
you
should know.
talk about how
You
much you
should know.
know all these people. Why wouldn't you know someone who just comes from the same generation as all these other kids you know?
Does some similar work as I do.
Yeah, exactly. He's almost a protege. Man after your own heart.
Oh God, was it jealousy that caused the blade to fall?
So many times. so many times. We can just go straight into the investigation roll to resolve this. You've got
Okay.
2 white dice plus the bargain die from a challenge success, and you get 2 more whites from the answers you have found. Not to roll. Those are going to be bargain dice that can be added in by other supporters. You're actually only rolling 2 because you
All right.
are. What stat do you want to reach out for? Your reputation. Your only one is mind that's high enough.
I think
Yeah.
it's heart is me.
But it would be heart. But heart would add a black die to the roll. But you're also getting a bunch here for the from the answers we've already
I
found.
think heart is probably the most realistic given their
You
potential.
got a black die,
We'll go with that.
and Shane gets a black die,
Well, thank you.
and I got a black die, and you're gonna get an additional black die, Shane, because of the bad condition on his damaged heart, because he's feeling guilty now, and you can. So we'll roll these black dies, and I'm gonna split up the white dice here for the bargains. I'll give you 2, Shane, because you're in the scene, and I'll have 1. But these white dice can be bargains that we can add in to break ties. He doesn't have to break his principle.
And go.
Ooh. So let's bring this over here. We got a 6.
Yep.
We've got
5.
a 5 and a 5 and a 2. And supporters, we want to push 3 of these 4 black dies in. Do we want to keep in 2 5s, or do we want to push in the 2 to risk him being put up on the board as a suspect as a lead? I kind of like that part too. We have a 6, a 5, and a 2 rather than a 6
Yeah.
and 2 5s.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That makes his choice a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Now, for the bargain dice, I rolled. We have, and then Bree gave me. We'll keep these down here, and Shane, another 5. So these are your bargain dice. You have for your black dice, you're up against a 6, which if you fail that, the district, the shatters that you're in, or the shades will be escalated. I would think in this context, the shades might even be escalated, or will destroy a lead on the board. A 5 means you damage a condition, and a 2 means that you pin yourself to the board. If you hit on the 6, which will mean breaking this tie, or you can pair it with a lower number, and you can just take the damaged lead in the escalation. If you hit on this 6, you will make an answer, and we're that close. It will be the answer.
Yeah.
Or you can make a connected lead, and if you take this 3, which the only one it can really beat is the 2, so you could do that. You wouldn't have to take any bargains, and you could just let a district be escalated.
I could just take the answer and call it a day, really.
You could.
So let's find out.
Let's
The
find
old
out.
man is the one who ends up telling us why.
Why? Why, old man?
why it happened. But actually, the protagonist who runs the scene gets to tell us why.
Yeah.
But through
But it's
but
through
your
you, so
character.
you can have some of the glory.
So first,
Yay.
let's figure this out. We've got what are you pairing these up with? The you just want the 6. Do you want
You killed the 6.
to like that? And then it's the 6 that what lead do we want to have destroyed? Or do you want to escalate a district?
Well, he can just escalate. Nothing bad is going to happen. Cause...
Yeah, but it will in the epilogue. It'll add a black die to the epilogue.
You can kill Marty.
Just
Silver.
don't destroy a lead that you need to form an answer, is all I would request. And the only existing connections are Anka, Liz, and Chris Chapman.
So basically, with the 6, I just destroy a lead on the board there.
Which lead do you want to destroy then? Keeping in mind, if you destroy
connected
Fortune
lead.
or Marty, we die.
I mean, you can
no
end
pressure.
this game, kill Justin, and still win.
I mean, really, you could kill either of us and still win. Let's be honest here. And both of us have gotten way up in so many things we should not have gotten into.
Kill them.
That's also going to maybe really answer the why, if I've also been involved in the implication of this murder now. Why did they also kill me? I mean, I was only just recently captured by them. Or you can escalate the shades or the shatters.
You know what? Don't hijack my scene, bitch. Marty dies.
Yay! Wait, no.
How? Okay. So Marty's been destroyed.
He gets stabbed so many
How
times.
was he stabbed so many times?
Oh yeah.
Or was someone else like Liz or Anka? Was it like a cover up?
Oh.
Just pushed down an elevator shaft.
Yeah, push down an elevator shaft onto some knives.
Which stab him so many
It sounds like a collaborative effort.
Who pushed him down the elevator shaft?
Well, that'll answers
Next
maybe
time.
the third. No, this is the last episode.
This is it.
So
This
what's
is it. This is all we got.
Fuck. Okay. That's gonna be an interesting epilogue for Marty.
There isn't one.
This might be the darkest moment I've ever had in Terrible Warriors.
You killed Justin. I'm really glad I invited you here to this game from Edmonton.
And put you up last night.
And like you crashed at my place. I drove you down. I made you breakfast this morning. I made him breakfast.
What'd you make for breakfast?
I had bologna and fried eggs.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
And Greek
you
yogurt.
killed him.
And like French press coffee.
And you killed
and he
him.
fucking killed me.
You shoved you down.
Because
an
I
elevator
hijacked a
shaft.
scene.
Also, I'm
Nice.
just gonna say, if this is the darkest moment you've ever had in Terrible Warriors, like, welcome to Toronto. We do this every time.
Yeah, the last time Bree was in a game, Steve almost quit the show.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we made Steve almost rage quit. That was fun.
Oh, that was good. It's all caught on tape. Monster Hearts, episode
Yeah,
3.
Monster Hearts, remember?
I do remember that.
Monster
Yeah.
Hearts, episode 3. Or 4. It was episode 4, because it
I
was
don't
right
know,
after
it was-
we killed off Mag's character.
Yeah, it was after
What
we
have
killed
you
Mags.
done?
Was Steve the werewolf?
What have you done?
Was Steve the werewolf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because I punched him really hard in the
No, it's
neck?
because
No.
Julian was all like, I'm going to bleed, and I want you to hurt. I don't
Yeah,
want you to
Julian got
die.
really
I just want
dark,
you
and
to
he was
hurt."
like, nah.
and then his dad came down the stairs, Steve's fictional character dad, then snapped Mags' Buffy character, broke her neck and killed her right there in the basement.
Oh my
And like Steve
God.
just saw his like best friend and
It was
maybe girlfriend die in front of him, and by his dad's hand, it was a breaking point.
Yeah,
we
it was-
broke him.
it was great.
That
Broke
got
him.
really intense.
Yeah,
So,
that game
all
was
right,
really awful.
But back
I
to
loved it.
Noirlandia.
I loved it.
So
Yes.
it sounds like because you didn't let things lie, because you ignored Mark Brooks
Yeah.
saying to stop this, he probably sent those assassins and other people from the Shades to just let Marty take the fall. And he did, literally. Marty took the fall. He took
Literally.
a fall
Onto a
so
lot of
many
knives.
stairs. So many stairs. Mark Brooks doesn't use knives. Mark Brooks just uses gravity. He just pushed them off.
You don't need extra stuff if you just used your
So-
hands and gravity.
Marty Silver wasn't killed by Chris Chapman unless you want him to be Chris. I think it would be
No,
as your
I
supporter
like,
in this scene. I think it would be Mark Brooks You ignored his warning
Or
Yeah.
to let
associated
things
Mark Brooks.
go. And so you didn't, so he fucking killed Marty. You wouldn't care.
No,
If anything, it would
He was
help.
just like, oh look, here's this
Case
guy.
closed. You
Yeah.
got them. You got the
Surprise.
guy. Vigilante justice.
You know, Marty's still a little bit drugged. He was an easy target. It was
And the rest of us are
worked
like,
out.
we're like, he's dead, but we could bring it up, but then we may get targeted.
Yeah.
So I'm dead. And in the other one here, you do find, however, the answer. You only have the one option on the board if you want to cut right to the answer. Unless you want to make do you want to make another connection first from that 3 to make your answer a little bit more interesting rather than the Anka, Liz, and Chapman connection?
I think Uncle Liz and Chapman kind of like
You could connect Marty to anything on that board.
Yeah, technically, you could
Marty's
connect
gone,
Marty.
though.
Well, you can't. I'm a destroyed lead
Yeah.
now.
Oh yes,
Do you want someone want to put an X through that
yeah, I will.
card?
I'm so on that.
It killed me.
It's not an X, it's a scribble.
No, I
Just-
scribbled
you
it.
Scratched me out of existence.
Scratched him out of existence. You're welcome.
It was a good breakfast.
Okay, so or you could
You guys
connect
take this stuff way too personal.
unused items on the on the board are Sunnyside, the family heirloom, and the how answer.
How much stabs?
So many stabbings. You can connect that to anything else into the strings to form your answer.
I mean, if you connect the how many stabs, you can be like the who, the how, and then come to the why from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could connect how to who, and you could use Liz, who, and how to form your answer. Seems like synergy.
Yeah,
You
that-
can.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we can do that. The Liz, the who, and the how.
Okay, so we'll just take some string and we'll take a final photo of it. Shane, you rolled it. You killed me. You stood up for your principles. You talked with the old man. And here in this park in the Shatters, the truth comes out. And we finally learn why Chris Chapman stabbed Stephen Prince so many times.
So many.
And we also learn why it connects to Liz Moran. Chris is connected to her. And the how is connected to Chris, because he did the stabbing. Why did he do this? What does the old man reveal to you?
Okay.
And I tell you,
Or do you guys want to?
So-
you can talk it out. I've got my own ideas, but I don't want to hijack
Okay,
the ending.
so-
I'm dead. That's what I get.
Here's what I've kind of got figured for the motive. Chris Chapman was a chemist who had an idea not for a drug but an anti-drug. So what he intended to do with the help of Liz Moran, who was a high-ranking government official that could help make this happen, was sneak the anti-drug into the regular pharmaceuticals so they stop working. Then what
It's
would-
like a drug that just kind of blocks a
He was
lot
gonna
of the
topple- he was
receptors
gonna
you're
topple the
using. He's
regime.
going to topple the drug regime.
But what was going to happen was then Mark Brooks was going to get involved as well, use the drug distributors in the shades to put their drugs into the core. So basically,
So why did he kill Stephen Prince?
because Stephen Prince was figuring out what he was doing.
Because he was working with Liz?
Yeah.
Stephen Prince just like stumbled across like what was happening
But
one day while
we
he was
found
in
the
Liz's
drugs
house.
in his we found the drugs in his secret writing lab,
Well,
which is in Liz's
yeah,
house.
but did he find the drugs and then take them back? And he's like, well, I mean, Liz never really goes in here. I can just hold on to this until I figure out what's going on. And then they were just in his room. And she didn't go in there until he died.
This is just an idea that I
So
had
he
off
was-
the top of my head.
He
I
had
haven't fleshed it out.
he had written out this document, this Shades document with a will leaving everything in Liz's name. There's something about that suspected that he didn't think he felt safe and that he felt he was in danger. Certainly, Chris Chapman and his anti-drug toppling regime coup would have felt like he was getting ready through his publishing company and the press to blow the whole thing open. And he knew that the powers that be, the Mark Brooks and the Chris Chapmans of the Shades, were going to wipe him out. And he was going to make sure that if that happened, at least Liz wouldn't have been hurt by this.
Did Liz betray him, though?
I don't know where Liz comes into this story with Chris. We know that she and Chris are connected and suspected lovers.
And we know that like his laboratory was
And that
in
she
her
was
place.
working now with him to distribute this anti-drug as like this rebellion. Almost think that like Steve also being from the Shades and also coming from that life, like a whole bunch of like communist writers in the 50s, maybe they were all kind of like working together in like a conspiracy, but Steve was having second thoughts. He was liking his life in the Crystal Maze. He was liking how things were going. He was successful. His books, his connection with Liz was growing more closer, and he was spending time at the sunny side, getting to know Anka, who was also involved in this conspiracy, but he was starting to change their minds, going like, this is a good life. These drugs are not harming people the way the drugs and the Shatters and the Shades do. This is an ideal that we could live. And he was starting to change minds. And
Now
Chris,
that he's hit the high life and he's not
Chris needed to
living
rub
the
him out.
core life, right, where the drugs are like constantly in his system, right? He's not taking like the work all the time drug, right? He's taking like the relaxing, like, oh, this is nice kind of drugs, right? His mind is changing. He's not in that grind all the time anymore. He's already successful, right?
Also,
so it's easy to come
unlike
out
the other
side.
members like Anka and Liz and Chris, who from the Shades wouldn't take drugs like you, faking it.
Yeah.
Steve started imbibing. He started getting involved. I'm like, this is fine. This is actually great. It helps my writing. It helps my career. Helps my relationships. He was getting other people to start thinking about it. And so Chris, they got into an argument after he had revealed to Chris, I can't do this and I got to tell everyone I got to stop you. Chris went, you can't stop me. Right, that's where it's sounding. If this is
Yeah.
this
And
this
then
plan, he was halting him.
And then he stabbed him.
And then he stabbed him so many
So
times.
many
I
times.
was curious though if like was he stabbed in the office or was he stabbed at Liz's place and then they brought him to the
They
office?
stabbed him at Liz's place.
Brought him
They
off to frame
they
Marty.
They were trying to frame Marty, which is why then Mark Brooks just went ahead with the plan.
yeah, Mark Brooks was like, "Oh, look, he was
But
just
Mark
so
Brooks is
upset he
an
committed
idiot.
suicide."
Mark Brooks is an idiot. So Marty
We love
paid
you. Thank
the
you
price.
for supporting us on Patreon.
Marty Silver paid the price just for associating with Steven. And they tried to pin everything on him, but they didn't remember they didn't check his coat. They didn't know. Chris had no idea that Steven was going to leave his entire fortune to Liz. And in doing so, also leave it to Chris, because the two of them were together. That he was ready to betray the cause and possibly pay the price from the agents of the Shade, but they were still his friends. He was still going to leave everything to him. But then Chris ended up being the one who killed him.
Right.
And Liz will never see a
But
dollar
here's
of
the
that.
question: do our characters care to make this information public, or do we hold on to it and try to keep our heads
That's
down?
the epilogue.
Oh my god!
Oh snap!
That's the epilogue. We'll come back next week. We'll wrap it up with a quick epilogue episode. Marty's dead.
Bye,
But the
Marty.
three of you have learned the truth.
Do you get like a ghost story?
We're going to put it here on this board. And now we haven't. Yeah, I do get an epilogue in terms of like what happens to me, my legacy, and to my city. But obviously, I know what happened to me. And you can put that up there. And when we come back for our next final episode, we will have an epilogue here on Noirlandia. It'll be a shortened episode because there's not much to do. And maybe we'll double it up with another campaign. I'm going to just put it out as a bonus episode. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll see how the masks thing goes. And we now have our answers. The game is over. We have won. Or have we? Because now we've got a terrible answer to a horrible secret. And Marty, police are ready to wipe their hands and go,
I mean,
case
Marty definitely did not win.
solved. Will Chris Chapman get away with it? We'll find out next time on The Terrible Warriors. And until then, I am your dearly departed, Justin Ecock, surrounded by
You're fine. Marty's
his
dead.
friends that he would do anything
you didn't,
for.
You didn't make me breakfast, so.
Not making anyone breakfast. We have,
Free Poison.
and still not sure if he's comfortable with this revelation. Is this what we were all working towards? Is this the answer that it was always going to be?
Shane.
Shane.
That's the whole title.
That Shane.
And apparently you've killed my cat in another campaign in Pugmire. You've now killed me in Noirlandia. What are you gonna do next?
I'm Shane Fitzgerald, and the best part of that is not knowing.
Until next time, I'm still the voice of the show. Take it away, Justin.
They're gonna lock me up.
The Terrible Warriors normally has new episodes out every Tuesday and every Thursday. But with Noirlandia, we still had an epilogue to record. Now, it ended up being a little shorter than a regular episode, so come back tomorrow. Surprise! We'll have a new shortened episode to wrap up the story of Noirlandia. The investigation is now over. But there's still one last bit of the game to play. What happened after? How did the investigations affect our investigators, at least the ones that survived? And most importantly, how did the City of Calypso fare? Will they ever learn the truth behind the murder of Stephen Prince? So that also means tomorrow the debrief episode will be released, as well as the collected complete campaign for our Patreon supporters. And to thank you for your patience, we will also be including scanned copies of everything that went up on our billboard, so that you could cut them out and play an adventure in the City of Calypso yourself. Perhaps your investigation will turn out differently than ours. And if you return to us on Thursday, we have a new campaign for you, recorded just last weekend. The triumphant return of Mike the Birdman Dodd as a player character, as Derek the Bard gathers together our terrible warriors to step through the Stargate into another world. It's the first adventure of Stargate SG-12 in a campaign we're calling The Shield of Mars. And should you return to us next Tuesday, we'll be playing Masks, the New Generation, our story of young superheroes in way over their head as they race against time, we do that a lot in this show, to save their precious city from being barreled over by all the other parallel reality cities that are out there. What happens when the stack falls? And can they possibly rebuild the wall between worlds? Oh, we'll see. It all comes down to the dice rolls on Tuesday. And next Thursday, alternating with our Stargate SG-12 campaign, Derek, Will, and Wes have created a world of their own. The Parliamentary Republic of Valemount. It's a steampunk gothic-style world, and our players have fashioned themselves as freelance monster hunters. It's an incredibly original world, and I can't wait to continue to explore it with you next week. So, Noirlandia will actually wrap up tomorrow. Surprise! We'll have a new campaign recorded for you, replacing Noirlandia in the rotation. We have a new game that you chose on Patreon. The deadline was just last weekend, and the polls are in, with only 39% of the votes squeaking by. Our next campaign to be recorded will be Threadbare. We'll be playing Broken Toys in a Broken World. If you would like to get involved in the preparations of this game, head on to Instagram or Twitter right now. Take a picture of one of your broken toys. Better if it's creepy. Something close up. Something with a clean background so that I can use that perhaps in our title card for the next campaign. Maybe we'll take that toy and fashion it into one of our player characters. If you'd like to know more, head to Twitter at Dice Warriors, as well as TerribleWarriors.com, where you can see a schedule of all of our future campaigns leading right up to the end of the summer now, and a complete archive of every campaign we have ever released, available forever, for free, for you. And this year has been really good for us. You've allowed us to play new games, be more adventurous with our topics, bring on more people onto the show, and have cool musical soundtracks in the background, and that's entirely thanks to your support. Not just if you're a Patreon supporter, and we are very thankful if you want to give us real money, but also just for sharing this show with your friends, for leaving a review on iTunes because that helps us become more visible, for hitting retweet on Twitter because we don't have actually that many followers on Twitter, and we survive off of the impressions from your retweets. Every time you hit like and share, every time you tell someone about our show, every time you play a game that you heard on this show, you're not just helping our Terrible Warrior program, you're helping the whole community. Because we still believe, as we did on the first day, that anyone and everyone, regardless of their background, can play and game and tell stories together, and in doing so, become a terrible warrior. Today's Terrible Warriors and your Noirlandia investigators were Shane Baelish, Bree Poisonne, Shane Fitzgerald, and Justin Ecock. Thank you for listening. See you next time.